There's this new trend going on in anime that I just love to see. The most popular anime are no longer your shonens or your isekais now. Most of the popular anime are romance or slice of life series that are really wholesome, which is something that I love. I've loved this style of anime for so long, and to see it finally get more popular and getting talked about more warms my heart a little bit. I've already made a few videos on some of the series that have exploded in popularity that follow this genre, but I would still like to talk about what is going on in the community and why exactly it has started to shift to where these are the more popular shows. So firstly, I want to talk about the previous trends and how they stopped being trends in the first place. So first, the 2010s saw the rise of the isekai genre with the popularity of Sword Art Online. Isekai after that became a mainstay where you saw many other anime try to replicate the formula to different levels of success. The isekai genre eventually started to become oversaturated with garbage shows that took over the majority of every anime season, and people got tired of seeing it. Of course, that still goes on today, where you would be hard pressed to find a season that doesn't have at least 5 isekai anime coming out. However, isekai as a whole has started to shift away from the traditional formula as well, where we are seeing the rise of more slice of life or romance focused isekai that are becoming more popular. Of course, this trash still comes out every once in a while, but finding a Kirito clone in this day and age is a little more rare even for those series trying to copy the SEO formula. Although, only a little bit. 90% of isekai anime still have Kirito clone as their main characters, if they're male at least. Isekai will probably never lose popularity in the anime community and will be here to stay forever. And I don't think most people want it to leave. Most people are tired of the oversaturated crap, but they love the series that do it right, which are far less common. So although isekai would never die, it would be awesome if it became a little less prominent with time. There's one more trend I want to talk about, which is something that I'm not sure many anime fans like to revisit much anymore, which is the rise of a yashike slice of life anime, which is different from the types of romance or slice of life series popular today. These series coined the term and later genre, cute girls doing cute things, that has become a mainstay in the anime community. Back in the mid to late 2000s, these shows were everywhere, you couldn't avoid them no matter how hard you tried. Although during this time the big three were at their peaks in popularity, somehow these shows about cute girls essentially doing nothing became a talking point right alongside them. And now it's almost impossible to imagine what anime would be like without some of these shows that have risen to popularity. Without shows like Lucky Star or K-On!, most shows you see nowadays would be very different. These anime changed how people view anime as a medium, and it really expanded the possibilities of what types of shows could grow to be popular. These shows also brought people together and made people realize that action-oriented shows weren't the only types of shows that could be good. And although now these types of shows almost never come out, when they do, anime fans come out in droves to gush over the wholesomeness of this series in remembrance of an era long forgotten in this community. And now finally, it's time to talk about the current trend going on in the anime community, which is a trend you could argue started with the anime adaptation of Kaguya-sama in the winter of 2019, or with Horimiya in the winter of 2021. These shows were the first time I noticed the shift in the community where these were the most popular shows during their respective seasons. However, after the release of Kaguya-sama, it went silent for 2 whole years before Horimiya came out. This was the second time I noticed that at least more people were talking about shows of this type. I mean, this was the season Attack on Titan's final seasons first started to come out, as well as Mushoku Tensei's first half, right alongside ReZero Season 2 Part 2 and Slime Season 2 Part 1, with Dr. Stone and Promised Neverland Season 2 also coming out. And somehow, with this stacked ass lineup of anime for this season, Horimiya wasn't drowned out of the conversation. On the contrary, it was one of the forefront leaders of the conversation in that series, and shows like ReZero were the ones that got drowned out. But then things went silent for a while again, as things usually do when it comes to this genre of anime. There were only 2 notable anime that got semi-popular during the rest of 2021 that are a part of this trend, and they are Nagatoro and Komi Can't Communicate. However, these 2 shows never really reached the heights of some of the other shows that were really only set up for what we get to see for the rest of this year in 2022. In winter, we had My Dress Up Darling being the most popular anime. I mean, more people were talking about this than they were Attack on Titan, which is fucking big. That has never happened before, where not 1, but 2 big name shonen anime came out in the same season, and both of them were talked about less than some stupid rom-com anime. However, we have another one that did the exact same thing in the very next season, and although it's not really a romance, it still follows the trend of being wholesome and cute, and that series is of course Spy Family. Which, if it wasn't for the last episode of a series I mentioned earlier, Kaguya-sama, it might have been the most popular anime of the season, and you could argue it still was. This was the first time I feel like most people were noticing this shifting trend as well, and that's why the current season of anime saw the absolute most amount of these types of anime come out and be popular, with the biggest one being a series that can combine this genre with action really well and seamlessly, Licorice Recoil. However, it's not the only one that we have. Anime like Call of the Night and The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, which are also quite popular this season. And with season 2 of Devil's a Part-Timer having the most talked about thing be a cute little girl character introduced this season, I feel like this trend started to grow bigger and bigger with time as more and more people were tired of talking about the same shows over and over again. People wanted series they can turn their brain off and watch without having to focus too much, but they also wanted something to contrast their mundane lives of sitting at home during the pandemic. So why not turn to something cute and wholesome? And that is exactly what most people did. Most of these series came out during the perfect time and became massively popular because of it. I feel like this trend will be what defines the 2020s of anime, where more and more of these types of shows are going to become popular and grow to be massive series. Even isekai has started to follow this trend, with series like Villainess or Bookworm being really popular non-action oriented isekai anime. To be honest, I am all for this new change in the anime community, and I hope that it continues to be this way for at least a few more years, because I'm tired of hearing about the same 4 or 5 anime everyone wants to talk about all the time. I want something fresh, which I hope we can continue to get with this trend.